Here we go. Here we
Oh,
go.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Let
yeah,
me loosen up.
yeah,
Okay. Here we
yeah,
go.
yeah, 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 yeah. It's still.
There you go.
There we go.
There
Here we
you go.
go.
There you
Here we go.
Here we
All
go,
right,
yo.
we are. We back. We back. I disappeared. Remember, fellas. It's the podcast. The kids are back, including a kid. You know what I mean? We got an interesting topic today.
go.
Fatherhood. Let them know. Let them know.
Fatherhood.
Bring
Yep,
your
there
kids. Let me
you
go get mine. Hold up. All right. We got Be Naked. Come
go.
on.
Be nice.
DJ.
Mr. Top 5. What's up, y'all?
Hey.
Right?
What up? What
Here
up?
we go once again. Hope you missed us. Hope you're coming back.
Did
Like
you
our
enjoy
boy
your
said.
Valentine? You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Hope you enjoyed Valentine's. Yes, sir.
Doing lots of tip drills out there.
Yeah, had a good time. Good time. Very good time.
So yes, we are back with a new topic this week. One topic we're covering, fatherhood.
Mm-hmm.
So fatherhood, one topic. We'll get right into it. We're all fathers. Who was the first one here to be a father?
It was you.
It was y'all two.
Yeah.
Oh, so it was DJ.
Oh, okay, okay.
It was DJ. DJ was the first one, then myself, then
Then we have a
That was you.
was it me first?
Yeah, you.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You back in Cali?
It was you.
Me first, then you?
Yeah, because remember when you had brought down Junior?
Nah, I'm talking about the other ones.
Oh, oh,
He's talking about the way
oh,
back stuff. The way
there we
back.
go.
way back, way back,
He's
way
talking about the
back.
way back.
Yeah. That was you too.
Oh, okay. So in order, I'm next apparently, and then it's D Nice. We have to check that later on.
Matter of
Yeah,
fact,
Hey,
like that was you too.
No.
Sounds like you have some confusion over there.
We're gonna go back and check this later
He's
on.
like, rock, paper, scissors on that. Rock, paper, scissors.
Anyway, either way, in the order.
Either way. So let's start with so we'll start with DJ since he was the first father of the crew.
Yep.
So when you first found out, how did you feel? Like, what were your feelings? What were your thoughts?
Oh, wow. I guess I was more like, really? And of course, the normal dude response is like, is it mine?
No way.
Yeah, yeah, yep,
But,
yep.
I was like, wow, really? And then after a minute, I said, you know what? Whatever we choose to do, I'm down with it. And I'm glad we chose to have our daughter. So it was good. It was I felt blessed. I mean, it was a lot. It was a lot. I think I always tell new like when people are finding out they're pregnant and stuff, I'm like, it's gonna change everything. Even when people get married, I always tell them, hey, listen, when you choose to be a parent, man, it's gonna alter everything, because all your decisions now are based off around the babies. So, but father, it's a blessing. I mean, 100%. I mean, I think I I cherish every moment, a lot of moments. It's definitely changed my life for the better. Gave it all its meaning. I think I still to this day probably no, not even probably. I do everything for their betterment. So without me trying to get all choked up, let's go on to the next person because I'm about
Right.
to
My
get choked up.
goodness.
I'll choke up,
Don't get
dog.
deep, bro.
Tears, dog.
Don't let me go
Oh,
there.
I want to see a
all you
tear.
had was one question.
No, I'm gonna slow down. Let me
Get the
slow it down a
tissue.
little bit. Go ahead, y'all.
I'll go next since I was next in line.
Yep.
You going
Kind of
next?
the same thing, like, wow, like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be a father, like she's really pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
I also thought like, okay, how is not so much my dad, but how is mom's gonna take it?
Oh yeah, there it is.
Time, right? We weren't married,
There it is.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
we're
you.
having a baby out of wedlock.
That's
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, but once we sat down and talked to them, they accepted it, because I was ready. I mean, it was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh my God, I'm going to be a dad.
Mm-hmm.
you know. So yeah, just like everything, you're like you said, you're nervous, excited, like what are you gonna do? I mean, luckily at the time I had a good job, had benefits,
Oh,
so
there it is, that part.
I mean, you got to. So um so yeah, so I mean it was excitement. Overall the main feeling was excitement. Like especially when I found out it was going to be a boy.
Big difference.
That was like, wow, like, okay, like I'm
Mhm.
really gonna be a dad, and just let everything else fall into place after that. So how about who was next? Be naked.
That would be me, apparently. So that was a little short, top five, but it's a good, you know what I'm saying? I was,
Hey, we got a lot to go. We got a lot to go.
hey, so for me, right, first of all, I'm gonna say I was in denial because I actually thought everything I was doing was gonna be continuing, taking all these trips, all this yada yada yada. I was living La Vida Loca life back then, you know what I'm saying? I was sideways for those that was around. Anyway, so in the beginning, it was more like it was just excitement, like, oh damn, we having our first one, right? And I was like, yeah, let's do it, and I was just waiting for him to come out and stuff. So for me, it was exciting. Once again, I was in denial, so I had no idea, like brother DJ said over here, about all the stuff that was going to be coming and all the hard, all the challenges and everything else that you know I came along with it, because the books didn't prepare you for nothing. I read about three different books. None of them helped out for anything. I'll tell you that right now. Um, there's no manual that comes out with this kid, so you was on that. So, I mean,
No, there you go.
so I mean, for me, it was, I guess, a mixed bag, right? Like I said, I was excited, but my thought process was totally like, yeah, it's gonna be great. I'm gonna have everything magically appear and stuff. So. That's me. That's my nutshell. Go ahead, D Nice, hit him.
Well, see, with me, I had started out, with I had like one stepson first, and then maybe 3 years or 4 years after that, that's when I had found out or whatever. And so, she, I was happy. Yeah, because I thought that, at like one point, I wouldn't even have any kids of my own. Well, no, well, not of my own, but kids, like from my
No, I get it.
yeah, yeah. And so, yeah, I was happy. I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
and it was a
So,
boy, so I was like, hell yeah, let's do this.
so I think all of us had boys except for DJ for the
Right.
first
Pretty
one.
much. Pretty
For
much.
my first child. Correct.
So, okay. So next
I am
question.
a proud
Found
girl,
out,
dad. That's facts.
right?
Come
There was a
on.
reason. So they
Yeah.
say. So, but okay. So we found out. So DJ, D
Yeah.
Nice, Be Naked. After that, what was your experience, or how did you like? Were you there when your first one was born? How was that experience?
Well, let me
How
tell you
was
this.
that?
You gonna go first? Go
Yeah.
ahead, man.
Okay. So, her water had broke, and so
Wow.
then we had went to the hospital, and so then she had the like epidural or whatever. And then so then when the like doctor he had came into the room, he had checked or whatever, and then he was like, whatever you do, do not move. And then so then he ran out the room, and then he had came in with all of the nurses and all that, and then so then he said push, and boop, he came out.
Dang.
Wow.
I mean, shit, it wasn't any shit, like 2.5 days in labor or all that. No,
Mhm.
yeah, he was there just like that.
So it wasn't a big old production.
It was just, boop, just came right
Wow.
on out.
Oh, she had it
Man,
easy.
brought me back.
Man,
Brought me
unlike
back right there.
mine,
Okay.
goodness gracious. Mine was so yeah, we were at mom and pop's house staying over there because
Mhm.
We were staying in Oakland at the time, but the hospital we went to was in the city.
Mm.
So the closer we got, we were like, okay, let's stay at mom and dad's. Water broke, went to the hospital, took 3 days.
Oh,
Damn.
3 days. So
Damn.
I stayed, they had the couch, the chair, and all that stuff. So I was asleep. They were like, sir, if you want to, rest, we got it under control, all that stuff. I was out.
so
I was
good.
knocked out. They woke me up the next morning, or the third morning, I guess. They woke me up and she's on the table about to, right? And yeah, 3 days.
Mm-mm-mm.
When they gave her the epidural, the needle's like about this big,
Mm-hmm.
Yikes.
right? I was like, okay, I'm not gonna look at it. I took a peek. Oh, good. I got lightheaded. I had to sit down. I had to sit down. I got lightheaded. And then so out he came. Let's see, he was what, 9'10"?
Mm-hmm.
9'10". I remember
That's a big one.
they were, doing their thing down there and everything. They weighed him, 9'10". The doctor's down there. He was like, how much again? And they were like 9'10". And the doctor was like, holy shit. They were, back then they had like those incubators that were like wood,
Right.
not the up-to-date ones.
Okay.
He didn't fit in it. He took up the whole dang thing. He was so big.
Dang
And his little shirts, the little shirts they give in the hospital,
One. Oh yeah.
on they were like
It's like a
half
half
shirts.
cut shirt.
They were like half shirts on him.
Looks like a practice jersey.
Like, wow, like, oh, okay. So yeah, then I was there for, of course, Jordan, but she had a C-section on that. So it was kind of all, by design, already scheduled and everything. And he came out and I just remember Jordan just they gave him the bottle and it's like he just grabbed it and just started drinking away. That's what I remember.
Dang.
No time wasted. Just good. Next thing I know, he was walking. He went so fast.
The next day.
Yeah, the
Like
next
you done been
day,
here
right?
before.
Man. So
That's awesome. That's amazing,
yeah.
bro.
So and then of course, my latest one, which I could discuss later. So I always get the question, how is it now versus then?
Mm-hmm.
Because for everybody out there who knows, I got like a 20-year gap between the second one and the third one. So I always get, oh, what's the difference? What's the difference? So we could touch on that later. So
Yeah.
so Be Naked or DJ, what was your experience seeing your first one born?
Go ahead, DJ.
Wow. I already knew my life changed. I'm gonna get all worked up again. Here we go. No, I know I was trying to cut the umbilical cord. When she came out, I was like, hey, and they took her away and they suctioned her. And I was like, what happened? They're like, oh, we have to do something because something happened inside. And if we don't suction her, then she can die. She had, yeah. I don't know if y'all know about that. Anyways, but I remember so many thoughts rushed through my head was like, wow, the biggest thing that tripped me out was like, that's the only thing outside of my parents and my brother that I can say is mine. There's no denying it. There's what I'm saying? Like you can get rid of a car, you can get rid of a house, but that's always gonna be your daughter. And I was like, wow, whoa, that was real heavy. I was like, yo, that's mine. I'm like, she's really mine. And I was like, I thought about so many different things. Like I don't know, I just knew like it was good. It was gonna lead to some great things. So I've loved it. I mean, I was there. It was funny, like y'all was talking about how you know how the whole birthing effect happened and like, you know, water breaking and stuff like that. No, ours was like we went to the doctors and they're like, oh yeah, you know, it was a follow-up, you know, whatever, follow-up prenatal kind of thing. And they're like, oh, you're dilated. We're like, what? She says, yeah, you're dilated. And then they're like, you guys might as well just stay here. We're like, wow. But that was the whole day. And then when she had to start pushing, I promise you, I was like, I was kind of irritated because I felt helpless because I had to count to 10 while she's bearing down, trying to push this child out. I'm like going, I started thinking, I'm like, if men had to carry these babies, I'd been like, yo, 7 months, cut this thing out. Let's go. I can't do this. I don't like the feeling. I was like, I was impressed because it made me go like, women are stronger the species.
You were
Not
thinking about
physically.
that right then and there.
Yeah, I was like, yo,
Right.
there's no. I just kept thinking like, I don't think a dude can carry a child like that. I'm
That's why
just, it
we
was a
don't.
mirror. It was amazing. There was, I guess it's easy to say, it's pretty obvious. I was like overwhelmed, like, whoa, every emotion from like excitement to joyous to like deep thought, like, oh my God, this is really mine. This is my baby. So it was good though. But yeah, I was there. It was amazing. It did take all day. Not no 3 days. I didn't even realize it was a 3 day experience, bro.
That's excessive, bro.
God bless her.
Man,
Good gracious.
Mm-hmm.
And then 9 pounds 10. Golly. Okay.
Boy,
How about for your second one, DJ? Was the same, would you feeling the same way or?
You know, seeing my son come into the world was a little different
hmm.
because he was already set up for a C-section with his, we had planned to have him on the 27th of January. So he would line up with Merrill's 27th of September, and mine is of June 27th. So he was
Oh,
supposed to
okay.
be 127. And instead, he was like, no, I'm going to come out today. And, that was wild. And so he was C-sectioned, and I looked over the little drape. I wasn't ready for that. I was not.
Yeah.
They're like, look, you want to look at your son? And I was like, yes. And I looked over and I was like, oh, I'm gonna throw up. I was not expecting to
See the
see
stomach
all
all
the.
open to the
Yeah, I was like,
side.
oh. I should have done one of these. Like, okay. No, it was amazing, and I was really worried because like seeing someone go through it, like seeing my lady go through the whole C-section thing, that is terrifying. Like they're shaking because it's cold, and but I was like, oh, it was crazy. But I was emotional. I'm an emotional person, anyways. But man,
Really?
yeah, just a little.
Yeah.
I'm
And
very in touch, very in tune.
mm-hmm.
To say I feel is off. It's just natural. I feel people's just right out the bat. I ain't gotta know you. I'll feel it. But anyways, no, it was amazing. Seeing my son, it was very prideful. Not just because he was my boy, but it was just, wow, he's here. That was crazy.
I want you to be naked.
Yeah.
all right, so yeah, I can't beat that 3 day, but so so for mine, the first one, right? I was there for all three. You know what I mean?
Mm,
The first one was the hardest one for on our first one. It was the hardest one for her. It took a few hours. I say more than five.
oof.
Um,
Mm.
and she had matter of fact, they had to give her two of those
Whoa.
long ass shots, Roby.
Wait
You
a
just
minute.
Man.
top. So they had to basically the first one because when they gave her the first one, they thought he was going to be coming out. They even forcibly broke her water, I believe, if I remember correctly,
Mm,
and then but he wasn't coming out still. So um they the second one because the first one was wearing out, right? So she could feel all that stuff. They gave her another one later against the doc's wishes. He didn't want to give her one, but the nurse was, she was like, he ain't a female. He don't know. But I was there. I watched. I didn't peek over it. I watched it live and direct. As a matter of fact, for that first one, I thought I was gonna pass out, right? Because I was ready for all that extra stuff that comes out, right? Right? But to be honest, man, it's like I got excited when I started seeing the head crown. Like I got like a little kid in the candy store, right? It was like whoa,
Like a
he's
miracle.
here. You know what I mean? Like
That's fact.
this our boy. You know what I mean? Like he coming out, and then she said, because I was so animated, right? And she was struggling, my energy gave her the energy to actually, to even increase her energy like tenfold, hundredfold, and then be able to do it, right? And I was like, oh well, I was, that was my intention, but it was just real stuff. I mean, the nurses would look at me like I was crazy because I literally was like a kid in the candy store. You know what I mean? And then I was just like looking at them like y'all looking at me like I'm nuts, but y'all haven't seen this too often. I mean, this is a gift right here, right? My second, I mean that dude, he didn't even give us time. We didn't even know she was already like he was already trying to come out. By the time we got there, he came out like 22 minutes later. You
Oh,
know what I mean?
wow.
Dang.
They were like, "Why didn't you get here earlier?" And then she was like, "Well, the first one took a while, so we didn't, we didn't." She thought, she was waiting for all that to happen again. And then when we got there, yeah, she didn't even like the chick was standing there close with the epidural in hand. She didn't even get to do it because homie
Oh,
just
wow.
he came out like Superman. You know what I mean?
Right? Da-da-da.
Wow.
And then the third one, so the third one was supposed to be this special event, right? So
Yeah.
the other two we had in the hospital, right? The third one we was trying to do. I don't know if you guys ever tried to do it. It was like a live birth in a I forgot what you call those places, but they come out in natural water. They
Like
don't
in the
come out
water
in the
and stuff.
hospital.
Bathtub, basically,
Nah,
or
it's not a
something.
bathtub, homie. It was like a swimming pool setup, but it's I forget the term. It's not a you can call them a midwife, but they're actually nurses and they have a facility and they're trained to do natural births.
Right.
Instead of your house, you go to this place. Well,
Mhm.
anyway, I was in there, ready to like a catcher, like yeah, ready to sit there and catch them and stuff. But little dude decided to spin at the last second, so they couldn't. He couldn't face down. So
Mm.
we ended up having to rush to the hospital to do a C-section. Right.
Mhm.
So I technically wasn't in the room with him because they had to do it real quick. To be honest, we didn't really know if she was going to make it or not, just because of the situation that was going on and because of the length of time it took to get there.
Wow.
So I already had my instructions, of course, my marching orders of what had to happen. We already had agreed upon if it came down to it, what I had to do, right? So
Mhm.
um anyway, just thinking about that right now makes me feel clamped because it was, it could have been me raising three boys by myself. But anyway,
Right.
so yeah, I mean, it was after he came out and stuff, I was able to see him, but it almost like I felt like I was robbed. You know what I mean? Like I was robbed of the experience because
Oh,
unlike other
man.
dudes who sit outside and like I'm not gonna go in there till they're born. I had my uncles do that and things like that. I
Yeah.
wanted to be there for all of them. So
Mhm.
That's
so
awesome.
that
But
was
in,
that was me.
but in a way, though, you got to think about it. You were still there.
I
Right.
was, I
I mean,
was,
not
but
in the room to
yeah,
see it,
yeah,
but just, you know what I'm saying? Just you being
yeah,
there. It's
yeah.
like, yeah, you.
Unfortunately, I learned that if they ever go to the ER, they won't let you in there because of the urgency of the situation. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So they won't let you in there. It doesn't matter if whoever you are, because me and her sister was standing outside, and we couldn't go in there until after it was all done.
Mm.
So yeah. So, but I was there. You know what I mean? But it was just like it's that one was more the anticipation, like truly waiting. Like I didn't get to see it all the way through, so that was a little different.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Wow.
my third one was a COVID baby. So they only allowed me in the room.
Mm.
And so
Uh-oh.
So, got me in the room. Took a minute. I remember I remember she was like, I need the epidural. She was like she was about to fight him or something. I just remember her saying, I need the epidural because they weren't going to give it to her. And she's like, yeah, I need it. I need it now. I need it. And then but he took a minute to come out, but I just remember one of the nurses was like, man, your husband is in there cheering you on pretty good. He gonna come out pretty soon. So, you know, I I kind of wish I would have had a girl this time around, but for whatever reason, there's always a reason, right? I got another boy.
Blessed with another one.
So yeah, this was like I said, everybody asks what's the difference. I guess older now, I see more. Like I'm a little bit more prepared.
Yes.
Time around. The first time you don't know what to expect. Everything's so new. And everything. This time is kind of I am seeing the little things I know I missed with the first two. Especially the second one, because the second one, and maybe because they're so close, the second one's just a blur. Right? He was born, and he took no time to walk.
Okay.
Where the first one is like you're just waiting. Everything's just waiting, anticipating. When are they going to start walking? When are they going to start talking? When are they going to? All this stuff you try to anticipate and you're waiting for, which makes it more exciting. Whereas, not going to lie, the second one, I don't remember those things. I just, like I said, it's just he was walking and running around with his older brother all of a sudden. Like there was nothing.
Yeah.
There was no anticipation to anything. It was just like that. Like the next thing you know, he was talking and walking. And then with the third one, that anticipation again. But just you knew it was coming and you knew it was going to take time. So I wasn't there like rushing in. It was just, okay, I know it's going to happen. Just in due time, it's going to happen. And you catch all the little things, that I know I missed with the first two. So, but let's see. Okay. Some of our most memorable moments with our kids. I mean, there's probably so much we could cover just in the birth and all that stuff, but how about we skip to some of the most, if you want to say, how about top 5 moments, or it could even be top 2 moments that you remember with your kids that really stand out, that really stand out, like, yeah, like this.
All right, I'm out. Peace.
Nice,
gotta brother. Be go ahead, man. D-Nice, kick us off, baby.
Gotta be something.
With Zion, it was he was always playing flag football, ever since he was like 4 or 5 years old. And so then we had went to the award dinner. And I think this was his second year playing football. And so then he had got offensive MVP.
Yeah.
And then he had heard, like his name called, and then he jumped up, and then he had came over to me, and then he was like, "Dad, thank you for always telling me to do my best."
Nice.
Yeah, nice. And that one right there, yeah, nice. That is one of the most memorable moments, Nice. Yeah,
You got another
one?
What
you, DJ?
Oh, okay.
Unless D-Nice.
I know, I'm gonna keep it light because I'm about to get caught up. So.
All right, give him some time. D-Nice.
No. This one was this is God. So
do we need some tissue? Give me some tissue.
No, don't worry about it. I got a sleeve. It's good. If boogers start coming out, I'm sorry. But I remember I was like, sorry, I had to get Kai to ride a bike.
Mm.
And I kid you not, this boy got on that bike, turned the pedal a couple times, and all of a sudden he's riding a bike. Like that. It wasn't that he didn't fall once. I was like, nah. He just didn't know how to stop. That was the key part.
Mm.
But
Nice.
I was impressed, man. For the moment he got on his bike, no problem. I was like, wow. I don't even got to chase him. I thought I was gonna have to hold the seat or run down the block with him. He's just, I was amazed. I was like, this boy is talented. I'm like, okay. I said, I can't say I did that when I first got on a bike. I think I ate like so many times. I think my bike broke, matter of fact, but I had one of those little Sears Roebuck thingies. You got to throw it together and hope it holds up. You got the training wheels and everything. Oh, man, it was whack.
Wow.
My son, right off the bat. But
Nice.
there's a lot. But I'm going to start off with that one because I'm not trying to get all, like as Butt Naked said, verklempt. So on that note, Butt Naked, go ahead, dog. What you got?
I was waiting for you to talk about the first for your girl
About
and
your
stuff
daughter.
too. Yeah.
Oh, and wow. Well, if there's a memorable moment, I'll see. Oh, I'm gonna get it.
How about let's let DJ
No,
catch.
I got it. I got to get one.
There.
Get out of here.
Waterworks
I'm
coming
good.
out.
No, I'm good.
About to start crying.
First day of kindergarten.
Oh,
No. We walk into kindergarten, and Meryl's like ready to go. She's like, she was like waving us off, like bye. We're like, whoa, we're like, hey, we're just gonna be here. She's like, okay, bye. And she sat down and sat on the little square, whatever, the little mat where they have like squares for the kids to sit in. And then she sits there, and then her kindergarten teacher, Miss Russian, goes, "Can anybody read this line?" And Meryl's like, I was like, no, dude. She started reading. I was like,
Wow.
I looked at her mom. We're like, dude, she can read. I was like, wow, that Reader Rabbit program really helps. I mean, she was all about that CD-ROM, the stuff, the little game that would read to you, like Reader Rabbit. Oh, she killed it. I was like, I was very proud. I was like, wow, you go. So, I mean, those are the two moments where I think they just surprised me. It's very, very one of those moments where you're just like, man, I'm proud to be there. I'm proud to be their dad. Just, major. See, I didn't cry. I'm good right now. I'm good right now. I'm good.
D-Nice, you have another memorable moment for?
Oh yeah. Well, this was with my oldest son. Not too long ago, him and his girl, well, him and his fiance, they had got this new house, and they're only like what 23, 24.
Oh wow.
And then I walk over. No, well, he had called me over, to like see, like their, like their like new house. And shit, when I had walked in there, I was just so damn proud of him. I mean, because shit. Yeah, because I mean, he is doing stuff now that shit, I didn't even do yet. So,
Right.
Yeah.
What did I need to do?
Yeah, and then shit, he isn't even past shit, he isn't even past shit, like 25 years old. And he got a wife, wife, a baby on the way, house, has his own career starting up now. So yeah. I am very proud.
Are you asking him for advice?
He's like, you looking for advice.
Yeah, real.
Son, what's the key?
Yeah,
What's the key, son?
yeah,
What am I not doing, son?
Where did I go wrong?
Teach me, teach me. Oh man. B, you want to go? Or you want me to go?
If you want to go first, I can. I was gonna bust him out for a second where he go ahead, Top. Go ahead. I'll go last.
Okay, let's see. So with my older two, they're only a couple years apart. So there's like so many. I have so many, to tell you the truth, but
Countless.
I'll give you a couple. Probably one of them was, let's see, the oldest was in 8th grade. The other one was in 6th.
Mm-hmm.
The oldest finally decided to go off for his basketball team at his middle school, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So he's in 8th grade. So he makes the team. The other one, he's in 6th grade. He goes out for his middle school team. So middle school teams are 6th, 7th, 8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
So he's one of 3 6th graders to make the team.
See.
One. The
So.
most memorable part was they played in a preseason tournament, their schools versus each other, because they went to 2 different schools. And to see them both on the court at the same time, like that was just like, wow, that was so cool. That was so cool. And then
Who'd you root for?
yeah.
Team top 5 is what he said. Team top
right.
5,
I just rooted for both of them my thing was I hope they both score. They both did. I think Gabe scored a few points. Jordan had a couple free throws. So that was cool. And then the next one was in high school. So they went to the same high school. So, yeah, so Gabe was a senior. Jordan was a sophomore.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, the high school was just junior varsity and varsity.
Right.
So varsity made the playoffs. A couple of players from JV got moved up, including Jordan. And to see them both on the field again in football was like, even though they're like, Dad, I didn't like that game because they didn't play Gabe enough when they should have. And Jordan didn't care. He was just, he don't care. But as a dad, it's just like, wow, to see both of your sons on the field at the same time, like that was cool. That was cool. That's something you never think you would see. Like,
right.
who would have imagined that? And they both hated football when they were little. Their mom forced them into Pee Wee football. They both hated that. They said, I'm never going to play football again. So to see them both on the field in high school, like that was so cool. And then I will say, but then one of my last ones, they were in high school. I think I told you, maybe B Naked and DJ know. I think Gabe was going to be a senior or get ready to graduate. Jordan was going from sophomore to junior or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
They used to go to this summer camp. The director hit up their mom and was like, hey, I want Gabe and Jordan I'm putting together this basketball team. I want Gabe and Jordan to play. Right? So long story short is they both got to play on this team that traveled to Germany.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I ended up coaching.
Okay.
I was never supposed to coach him, but at the end of the day, I ended up coaching. I had just started at AC Transit driving. And I was like, I just started. I can't take time off. You got to schedule your vacation. D Nice knows you got to schedule your
Yeah.
vacation 20 years in advance.
Yeah.
And
20.
they were like, all you need to do is get your passports and everything's covered. It worked out. I talked to the job, worked out, got my vacation changed, and going with my
I remember
boys to
that.
Germany and being able to coach them and stuff. And I even played a little bit on one of the games. I mean, that was so cool. Like that, I will never forget that experience. Not in a million years would I have thought that I'd be going to Germany with my two sons
Yeah.
Play
And
basketball.
play with them.
and
Yeah.
exactly and playing a sport that kind of tied us together as I grew up. Like that was like awesome. That was awesome. That was so cool.
God is
And
good.
yeah, and now with the little one, he'll be 5 next month, and just I look forward to all those going forward. And now, now it's his moments are like when I pick him up from school and I say, "Hey, Dad's here, Dad's here." Like just seeing that excites me. His excitement excites me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just he, for like I said, 20-year gap for whatever reason he's here. Sometimes I kind of think like, damn, why do I have another one? Like, what's the reason? Sometimes you think that, but he just pushes me and keeps me going.
Mm-hmm.
That's for me, that's a good enough reason.
Mm-hmm.
He pushes me, he keeps me going, and just knowing that I have more memories like to look forward to, like I did with my older two.
Right.
Like that's what I look forward to with him. Like yeah. So, like I said, I could share a million more moments, but it's all
That's nice.
good.
I like
Yeah.
it.
Go ahead, be naked with some of yours.
Man. As I'm listening to y'all put y'all moments up, it's more like I'm trying to figure out which ones I can pull out because we are tight knit over here, so most of the time we do a lot of things together and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
to pull out isolations is a little difficult. But I will start off with Junior when he was little. I always wanted my kids to kind of do what I did and follow into martial arts steps, right? I took like 3 different types coming up. So when Junior was of age and he was able to be, there's in the Shaolin temple, they only allow you to start, well, they allow you to start about 5 or 6, but they got to look at you. You know what I mean? So apparently he passed the test. And then once he was in there, um, what filled me with pride is not only that I was watching them out there like really doing these moves with these kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this kid was shredding up faster than I could imagine. I
Mm.
mean, this dude would just come to the house and flex on me and stuff, like showing me that he's all cut up and do the splits like sideways with no pain. I'm like, all right, okay, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And he blossomed for a little bit, and then he kind of was over after a little while. He didn't really care for the it was really hard discipline. Like compared to any other martial arts, I believe it's one of the most hardest disciplines you can take out there.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you get one that's the actual instructor is from China, who actually was a head of a temple out there and came over here. You know what I'm saying? They bring that old school mentality here. Um, with Jijo, my second one, it was watching him go with his brother to the same Shaolin temple, and just they said he was a natural. You know what I'm saying? And I got to see him, and I watched him without telling them I was watching because when I watched them, they would kind of like shy away. You know what I mean? Like they're like all of a sudden they kind of get like like oh, Dad's watching, right? But if I didn't tell him none, I got to see them, and I would really see his fierceness and stuff, and I was like, there you go. That's what I'm talking about right there. He's ready to hurt a mofo in a minute. You know what I mean? Um, with Dominic, he didn't really want to go, but to round it out, he ended up going later on when it was all of us, kind of like what Top was saying. Um, when we all ended up going back together, like I didn't put him in the Shaolin side, I put him in the Tai Chi side, which isn't just the art form he teaches isn't just a health art form, it's actually a fighting style too, right? So, if you can imagine all four of us being together, and I'm sitting there watching, them as they're with me, you know what I mean? Like there was a pride in my chest because I'm like, yeah, this is what I always wanted to do. Of course I wanted to take it a step further and spar with them, but baby steps, right? Baby steps.
Right. Whoop his kids' ass.
Right.
G Nice always says, they're okay, they're gonna gang up on you and mess you up.
Yeah.
And, but that's one of them. The other one I got is watching when they got their bikes, right? At first they were struggling with it, right? And I was like just letting them be. I wasn't trying to, like DJ said, I was trying to hold on to the seat at first, but it wasn't kind of helping. It didn't really kick for them until one of their friends came over and he knew how to ride a bike basic, but not do crazy shit. And as soon as they saw him kind of just do it, they were like, oh, he could do it. I could do it. And all of a sudden, all three of them just took off,
Oh, wow.
That's nuts.
and
That's sick.
I was like, all right, this will work too, right?
That's
So
sick.
Work is done.
yeah. I actually,
Like,
the first day, I took pictures and sent them out when without them really seeing me do it. And I was like, yeah, I said, that filled me with pride, that because it's a sense of accomplishment when you get on a bike and you start doing it by yourself, right?
Right.
But not falling, you know what I mean? Not falling and stuff.
Yeah.
And my third one, which is one of my funner ones as well, is when we was out South Padre a few years back. If you guys ever been down there, nice place actually, right? So there was a place we test different beaches out, right? And then the final day we found this one spot where even though we was kind of in the shallows, the waves were coming right over our head, like they was just nonstop, like just beating you, right? And we was getting slammed around and getting thrown into each other, and and we was trying to stand there and with our backs facing it deep into the waters, right? Dom can barely. I mean, it was past his waist. You know what I'm saying? Technically, those waves should have swept him out, but he was that strong as far as his core, the way he holds himself, that he was able to withstand it and be out there with us, right? And I kept watching him because I was like, oh, this dude's gonna get swept out. My wife gonna kill me. He's gonna get drowned out and stuff. And but it was a workout, and at the same time it was like we were just having fun. It was just seeing the glee on their face, just trying to maintain themselves against nature, and at the same time getting pummeled. That made it fun. You know what I mean? And that was one of my other memorable moments being with them, because that was a vacay time, and we got to let loose, and just seeing them be themselves. You know what I'm saying? Not stressing out, not worried on their face. It's like they knew for some reason, just being there with them, they had no worries, no nothing. They felt like I was gonna save them or something. But me, I'm a dad. I'm like, damn, I can't save all three of them at the same time. They get swept out. What's gonna happen anyway? So those are my memorable moments.
Nice. Nice. How about so we go from most memorable to the opposite end of the spectrum.
Oh crap.
As fathers, right? I'm sure we could all agree that when they're young, when they're babies, they start crying and whining like we don't know what to do, right? I'm sure we could all agree with that. And it's like, what do we do? Like, what's wrong with them? Especially when they can't talk, they can't express themselves, so we feel a little helpless, I guess you could say, as a dad. Like, what can I do? I can't do nothing because I don't know what's wrong. All I can do is comfort them or hold them or something. So, has there been any moments as your kids have gotten older where at any point in time did you feel that same way where you were like, man, what can I do? What is there that I could do to help my kid? Or like when you kind of felt that helplessness again, So I know as a baby it's different because they're babies, right? We expect that, but as they gotten older, like was there any point in time where you might have felt that feeling of just like, damn, what can I do? Like, what is there to be for me to do?
All right, I'm gonna go first because with y'all, I feel it's gonna get better after this story. So years ago, many years back, uh, it wasn't always cherries and roses and stuff coming up for them. You know what I'm saying? I was a different type of dad. We'll get into that subject a little later. So I had my own issues, and so at times you ain't the best parent. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna put it that way for a minute. So it hit a point where it was on the birthday of mine, and they were supposed to come out and to celebrate. And that's pretty much what every family does, right? You come out and celebrate, but they didn't want to. You know what I'm saying? And their moms made them kind of come out. They didn't want to, still didn't want to. They were still like like throwing attitude and all kinds of stuff, right? So this was the hardest moment for me because at this moment was the moment that I felt like I failed. Like I failed as a dad. I failed in every teaching possible. They came at me, right? Came at the oldest two, to be specific. Not the last one. He was just like, "What's going on?" He was trying to keep the peace towards the later part. But you know, when the oldest one and the second one, when they came at me, it really was like a wake up call. It was like a slap in the face, right? It was like it went from me at first being mad, like I it's like what I ain't gonna get no spec on this day, I done raised y'all and did all this whoop, 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 for all that, it's like okay, you're a dad. Here's a cookie for you, right? Um, it was more like I had let them down, right? Uh, from all the experience, because I can't add up all experience. This would take about 3 podcasts, 5 maybe. So, from all the experiences of good and bad, and they was remembering a lot of the bad parts when they was doing this. And so, um, it was really eye-opening. I actually felt like at that moment, I felt like me being out of their lives was the best thing for them.
Oh, wow.
So, it took a minute. It took a bit. It took, after sitting there and hashing it out, it was, I got to thank the third one, Dom, because he was very instrumental because he was more like, I just, when it went around the table, how can we resolve these things? He was just like, I just want peace. I just want the family together. That's all he kept saying. You know what I mean? The other two weren't they were just letting it be. They were, I wanted to hear the truth anyway, so they was coming at me. They was, one was like, ready to throw blows at me. The other one was like, I don't give a F where you go. You can take off and never show your face again. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
So, you know, it was it was truly an eye-opening experience. It was to actually hear them because you listen to them really. Because a parent, you don't think you need to listen to your kids and stuff, right? And I've listened to them other times, and I've listened to them other times, but this one, I didn't know it was brewing like that, and to finally realize it had been there like that was really what hit home. Now, it wasn't like I didn't just change overnight because of what they said. I changed because of what I felt of how I impacted them. You know what I'm saying? It was like I said, I felt like at that point that was the lowest part of being a dad as far as like, shit, I failed. They're this old and I failed. Um, you know, all I could do from there is make it better, you know what I'm saying? And guide them, even a better way and stuff, show them, and apologize for all the stuff. I mean, I can't go back in time and undo it, but you know what I mean? It was more of a let's move forward and that, if I failed again, then go ahead, cut me out your lives and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So that's just me being real. Like I said, it can only get better from my story. So, who got next?
I'm gonna touch on that real quick, because you said that how your oldest two, for whatever you guys were going through, how they kind of got at you. Right? I remember, so this isn't my moment, but I do remember, you guys remember when I moved to Texas.
Yes.
I was out there for like 3 years, and the boys were, my oldest two at the time were really still small.
Yeah.
Like 5 and 3, 6 and 4, something like that, right? Um, we were going through the separation and divorce and all that stuff. And I remember when I moved back home,
I got you. I got you, Top. Go ahead, bro. It's good.
like my oldest, he didn't come at me hard, but I remember one time I had called the house and they were staying with mom and pops. And this was before I decided to move back. Um, and so Gabe and Jordy were over and they were like, hey, Dad's on the phone. I want to talk to Dad. Jordan was so young, he really didn't grasp everything. So he talked to Dad, right? And I remember when they asked Gabe, he was like, no. He was like, I don't want to talk. So I knew eventually I had to get back to them. So I know when I moved back home permanently, uh, like Gabe was, I had to get to know Gabe again. Like I said, he was only maybe 6 or 7 or something, but it's just, and I knew when I would go, I would pick them up, and we would hang out and go out, and then they would go, I would drop them back off at their mom's. It was kind of like, it was still kind of like that question as to, okay, is Dad leaving to go to leave, or is Dad just leaving for the day? Am I going to see him tomorrow? Like that was tough. Like for that first year back, maybe those first few months, man, that was tough. That was like, oh man, like just to to make sure that they were comfortable knowing that no, I'm here. Like Dad is back. Like I'm not going nowhere again. Like that was tough. Ooh, man, that was tough. So I feel you on that, B. Like just to that disconnect that you feel, like that's just like I don't know how some dads could be a dad and not end up being a dad, if you feel me.
Right, I feel it.
Like how can you not be connected to your kid? Like that's your child. Like how can you not be a dad? Like I don't understand that. Like step up and be a fucking man. Like I just don't get it. Like how can you not be a dad when you find out you're a dad? Like who cares what your relationship is with the mom? Who cares? That's a whole different aspect. But you're a dad. Why not just be a dad?
Right,
What's
facts.
so hard about that? We all question ourselves, right? Am I good enough? Am I doing the right thing? Shit, I'll still do. I'll still question myself. I'm sure we all do at one point. Like,
Yeah.
have I done enough? But then being a dad is great, you know? So, but I guess real quick, I'll I said felt helpless, right? That was more of a moment of like, oh man. But helpless, I'll go. Um, I'm sure DJ, Be Naked, you guys remember a few years back, right? Shit happened with my second one, right? I guess you call him my middle child now, right?
Right.
So at that time, he was what? He just turned, so maybe he was 24, 25 or something, right? Of course, involved with a female, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And stuff. He gets taken, right? Put in the county,
Mhm.
right? And I'm just like, holy shit. Like when I found that out, I was like, what is going on? Like, and I just remember you know, like whatever he went through, but you're still the dad. You still got to support your kid, right?
Yeah.
And I remember he called me. He ended up calling me. I picked it up, and he just busted out, "Dad, you got to get me out of here," right? Like what? You know, bail's like so much. You know, I ain't got that. You know, and I remember when we hung up. Man, I just broke out. I just broke down. Like I felt helpless. Right? That was the first time in a long time where it was, what can I do? What can I do? And not like I could go down there and be like, here you go, and come on. I don't have that type of loop, you know. And I was in the bedroom, nobody was home, and I just broke down. Oh, Elijah might have been, you know, he was a baby, but I just, I just broke down, fell to my knees, and just, I was bawling like, what do I do? Like, what's going to happen? Like, what's going on in there? And eventually, you know, we got him out. Like, I had people support me you know, support him and everything. And I just remember when I picked him up, you know, nothing was said. He got in the car and he just like hugged me so tight, you know, and that was, man, like, dude, don't have this happen again, because no way can I go through this again. No way can I go through this again. Like, that's just a horrible feeling. That's just a horrible feeling. You know, knowing that he's a good kid, and just because of the circumstances that put him there, you know, like we had to go to court, and you know, my ex was there, and she'd be like, "Yo, don't do nothing, you know, just be chill. It's gonna work out. Just be chill." And it was just like, that fire inside of you, just like to the other person involved was like, oh my gosh. Like I remember hitting the bag in the garage, and I couldn't hit the bag hard enough to let out everything.
Damn.
Like I couldn't. It was just like, oh my gosh, like just that was just a horrible feeling. Just like, how can, ooh, man, and I was like, dude, do not put me through this again. No way could I handle this again. That was just horrible. That was a horrible feeling. Like not knowing what you could do for your son, even though he's a young man, but he's still your son. He's still your child. You know, no matter how old they get. Like I get it. I get it what my parents were saying. I get it. I get how my dad is. I get it, because that's how you feel. It's like, don't matter how old they get, you know, and I know me and DJ have the oldest ones. It doesn't matter. You still a parent. In the end, you're still a dad. You're still there to do what I can. I can't do everything, but I could do what I'm able to do. You know, so you know, and you know, before I pass the mic, like this is one of the reasons why I wanted to have this podcast. It's for those who are listening, any of those dads that are listening, young dads with young kids. Like my hope was that, and I know Dean Ice had mentioned this a while back, if just one person could take something from this to maybe make them be a better father, a better dad, you know, to understand that, yeah, it's okay to break down. You know, it's okay for your kids to see that, because they have to see that, because that's just human. You know, as long as one person can take something away from this podcast, then we've done what we came to do. You know, that was my whole reason for bringing this topic up of fatherhood. You know, and we could probably have a part two, three, four. I mean, we got so much.
There's like a series.
Yeah, there's so much behind it.
Fatherhood, a series.
Basically, yeah. I mean, there's so much behind it. You know, um, that's my hope, that whoever's watching this, that you guys take something away from this, and realize it's okay. You're going to have good moments and bad moments. You're going to question yourself all the time. Like I still do. But then and you guys could probably attest to it, but it's some little moments when your kids do something that you say to yourself, okay, you know what? Maybe I am doing the right thing. Maybe I did raise them the right way. Even though you don't see it all the time, and it's just them little things that just like, okay, you know, like I did do the right thing. Like even with my little one, I see him do things, and I'm like, okay, maybe I did do it. Like maybe I am okay. Because I mean, shoot, I still question myself and my techniques.
Yeah.
Like, could I do better? Could I do differently? And sometimes I look 20-year gap, right? What I did here, I try to do, but I know I can't do exactly the same. I catch myself, right? I catch myself, especially, and we all could probably, I mean, be naked. You have 3 sons, right? And you could probably agree that that first one was the hardest. You were a little bit harder on that first one as opposed to the rest.
Yeah.
Because
They might disagree with you, but
yeah.
I'm
So
sure I'll say that.
but that's what I see. But anyways, I'll pass the mic.
DJ.
DJ.
Oh no, T9's got it.
For me to, see, my hardest moment was when me and my ex-wife, we had split up, whatever, and then we had got divorced, and then so then at that point you aren't there 24/7. Yeah, you only get weekends, or then shoot, yeah,
Please.
maybe shoot, like every other weekend, or every weekend, or maybe this holiday, but not that holiday. And that's the hardest. That's the hardest thing, like for me, it was just not being there.
Right.
Yeah, because you only get you know a certain amount of time with your kids versus all the time with your kids.
Mm.
And so uh, it actually had worked out in my favor because my sons, they wanted to be with me every weekend. And so then, yeah, and so then, I was with them, every weekend and all the summer. Uh, and I was still paying child support, even though they were with me during the summer. I was still paying child support. Yeah, yeah. And then so then like I have brought that up to her, and then I was like, okay, well then if they are with me over summer, why don't I keep that money so that I could do things with them? Oh no, no, we ain't gonna do that. Oh no. Oh, I was like, okay, 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 And then at like that point there, I knew she was doing this just for the money.
Right.
Just for the money.
Whoop.
And then so then um uh and so then I mean she has sent me through changes. She was talking about, yeah, you uh uh are this part-time parent, you are the fun dad, you don't care about all of the stuff that all of the stuff that, like all the stuff that, like going on in the house and this and that and others. But no matter what she said, no matter what she did, no matter how she used those kids against me to hurt me,
Ugh,
I killed her with kindness.
there you go.
I mean, I had uh, never flashed on her. I never, just like, hey, F you be this, yeah, you, but killed her with kindness.
Right.
So, if you fast forward, my son, uh, he had finally told his mom, hey, I want to live with my dad. And so she said, okay, on like this date, you could go and live with your dad.
Wow.
And then when that date came, she was like, well, I changed my mind. I don't want him to stay with you. I just think that, it's too soon. What do you tell your kid?
Right.
I mean, really. Well, I mean, And so we had set another date. That date, well, I just think that, but I'm just like, but once again, killed her with kindness. I mean, because she was doing this just to get like that reaction out of him, and I wouldn't give it to her. I would
Right.
not give it to her.
Right.
And so then finally, Zion, he had moved with me. I was in the 7th grade. He had finally moved. He had finally moved with me, and now up to this time, right, I was picking up. Uh, first it was both my sons every weekend, every holiday, summer times they were with me. I mean, yeah, uh, and then later on down the line, Zach, he had got, like a job and everything, and then, like his like girlfriend, so he was doing his own thing. And yeah, and I gave him, like that space.
Yep.
But then with Zion, I was every weekend, every holiday, every summer, you know, I was picking them up and taking them with me. So when he comes and lives with me, uh, he's in the 10th grade right now. She has never once come over there.
Oh,
Yeah,
Wow.
to like, yeah, yeah, like to like pick up her son.
oh,
After all the bullshit that she had put me through, she has never once came over there to like pick up her son. The only time he would see her is Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's when I would take him over to his aunt's house. That's the only time he would see his mother. Is
wow.
Thanksgiving
When
and
you're
Christmas.
taking him to somewhere to go see his aunt.
And I was taking him to go see his mother. What do you tell your kid? I mean, what do you tell your kid that your mama don't want to see you?
Oh,
I mean,
Um,
he would talk to her on the phone or whatnot, but then still, that was like every month or every 3 weeks or, what do you tell your kid? And then shit, I would talk to him, hey, Zion, how do you feel? Or this, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine.
right.
But inside that, yeah, that he is hurting because his mama don't want to see him.
ugh.
I mean, she put me through shit, child support, this, that, other, and still I was there every goddamn weekend picking up her kids, but then she can't bring her funky ass over there one time. Not one
Right.
fucking time I mean, shit, take them to fucking McDonald's or something.
Something.
But I mean, that's when you feel hopeless. That's when you feel
So what do
hopeless.
you tell them? What do you
I mean,
tell them?
because shit, we don't talk. I mean, shit, I haven't talked to her in years. And then shit, I even took her off child support just to make it easier on her. I just wanted half of what I was paying. She had paid me that one time, and then I ain't seen shit ever since the 7th grade.
Never mind.
He
Wow.
is in the 10th grade now.
Right.
Yeah.
Good for you.
But I
That's
mean, shit, it's just like,
mm,
you just want to tell your kids that, whatever it is that, yeah, but you know, it's just kind of that hopeless feeling.
yeah. See, and what the thing is that a lot of people don't understand that there's a lot of dads out
Yeah.
there that are in that same situation you were, D-Nice. You
Hmm.
know, like everybody always sees it reversed,
Right.
Yeah.
and I know a few dads too who are like that, where the mom
Straight.
is just nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
And
No,
it's
it's
like,
real.
wow. So there's a lot of people don't get it that there's dads out there just in that same situation you are, and end up, taking on the role.
Both roles, huh?
Yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah, but then I'm glad that yeah, that yeah, that and like home now, it's more of a family structure there. And
Yeah.
then yeah, where he is lacking from her, he isn't missing much at home. So yeah.
and as he gets older, he'll know. He knows.
Oh yeah,
He knows.
yeah,
That's the
yeah,
whole thing. They know.
yeah, because he knows that even when even when even when he wasn't living with me, I was still as there as much as I could possibly be.
Right.
And then now, I'm there, all the time. So, in the end, and if he does make it like to the NFL and then shit,
Nice.
um, um, they do have shit, like that camera on there, he had better say, hi, dad, or shit, or this shit. Yeah, we gonna fight. We gonna fucking fight. I don't care, Yeah, yeah, shit. I'm gonna run down on that field, beat me box. Fuck that
Good time.
shit.
Wow.
That's
You don't
that's
see
a
D-Nice
father.
run onto the field. He didn't say I'm right here, Dad.
Tell us how you really feel, huh?
No.
Wow.
All right,
All right,
DJ, can you add
DJ.
anything?
You know, I think there's not enough moments. I mean, I can't say there's, as an adult, my kids have turned out pretty good. I just feel like I know they can achieve a greater amount. I don't feel helpless on that one, but I do feel I still gotta give a little bit more input. But I don't know. I guess after hearing all this stuff and going through all the emotions, as you can probably tell.
Not at all.
No,
Yeah, not a
Not
little.
at all.
tell
Not at
that.
all. I got boogers coming out and everything. This is great. Uh, but I was gonna say the one thing I was, I'm seeing Elijah there, and I'm going like, uh, I got to do the whole gap, like this whole almost 20-year gap thing with my baby girl. She's oh man, I'm not gonna. And so I just miss them. That's all.
You're gonna go to bed like that because I'm not so here.
Anyways, it's just tough being away sometimes.
Yeah.
Really is. Yeah, that's my part. That's the tough part. Yeah, I can't go no more.
All right.
No,
So
no, part.
that brings us
Can't
to
go no
the
more.
end of the cast in a minute. The advice that we could give out, you know what I'm saying? I know Tops touched on it earlier when he was doing it, he was saying it, but from my side, all I can tell you is to be a dad, you know, it takes more than just being there. It takes it takes I've learned in my experience, doesn't have to be everybody else's, but uh I open up to my kids and tell them truths, you know, about how I was, how I came to be, how I, you know, how I was formed out, you know what I mean? What
Right.
made me me, and you know, for better, for worse, you know, this is what happened in my life, and this is how it shaped me to be who I was today. You know what I mean? And I tell them that they're lucky to have both parents in their lives because I didn't have that. So when you don't have that in your life, it really changes you as an individual. So, you know, um, I don't try to hide. I don't tell them any lies about it, just the truth, right? So, and listen to them, you know, listen to them because you know, but you just might miss something that later on you did, you know, I don't know why, you know, you might be telling yourself, why did they get into that? Well, maybe you didn't listen to them. Maybe there was signs that you didn't pick up on. You know what I mean? That's my advice. And as a dad, you know, just enjoy everything while you can, because eventually one day, man, they up and out anyway. They're gonna be guests. You know, you're gonna be seeing them at their house. They're gonna come to your house as guests, and it won't be like it was when you was with them all the time. You know what I mean? So enjoy them while you can, and at the fullest. Even when they at your place and they get grown, enjoy them as much as you can. Next.
Yeah, for shit, you know, just enjoy it when they're little, you know, just like top five is, you know. Enjoy them when they're little because they grow up so damn fast. They grow up so fast.
They sure do.
And you know, just love them and shit, you know. And then for all of those fathers out there, you know, who are weekend dads or you know who have child support or whatever it is, don't ever give up. Don't. I mean, because you know, ex-wives or shit, you know, ex-girlfriends or you, they will put you through some shit. But my advice to everybody is kill them with kindness.
Very good.
Good time, guys. To our kids, we love you guys. That's it. I'm out. Can't do no more.
That's your advice, dude?
I can't do it. Just know we love you. That's it.
So,
Pretty soon I'll start blabbering. I'll just be like boogers everywhere. Never mind. No, I just, you know, I think the kids realize maybe sometimes they don't see our sacrifice. There it is. Done. All right, good times. All right.
I'll say,
That's it. Love you, kids. Love you. Nephews, I love you too. Get it.
this guy.
Shit.
So my advice, I mean, be naked, be nice, kind of said it already. Is, you know, just always be there. Enjoy them when they're small. They do grow up fast. Trust me. I mean, I'm living proof. 20-year difference. I got two grown men and this little one. You know, enjoy it all. You know, don't try to always be there for them. The one thing I remember is like my dad, he was at every game, you know, every event, even for his two oldest grandkids, my two oldest, every game he was there. You know, always try to make it, always try to support them no matter what. Just always be there. Like B Naked said, listen to them. You know, Because even though they may not be saying something, they are sometimes, and just be in tune. You know, just yeah. I mean, it's great being a dad. You know, and if you have any on the way, if you're about to be a new father, just enjoy it, embrace it.
Yeah. Greatest job in the world, but
Man.
Yeah, but it is the toughest and the most thankless job in the world.
Yes. You know, so we thank y'all again for tuning in. You never know, might be a part 2 to this. Like I said, we could probably go on.
Series.
But thank you again for tuning in. Don't forget to always like, share, and subscribe. Comment. You know, if you have comments, please share them. We have past episodes. If you haven't checked them out, go check them out.
Do
Might
that.
learn something, take something from it.
Drop a follow, drop a like. You know, we appreciate everybody.
Yes. Until next time.
Yeah. I'm gonna send you like some hey, box. I like tissue, DJ.
Taking donations for a box of tissues.
For real.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.